Hey friend, Brandon here. It's that time. The Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra 5G is here in all of its glory. But the questions are, what are my impressions? Should you upgrade from the Note 10 Plus? Should you get the Note 20 Ultra at all? Well, I spent my hard-earned money to get one to help you find out. Let's unbox the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra 5G and talk about it, because this is Tech Today. By the way, if you decide to purchase anything from the Samsung store, go ahead and click the link down below in the description and you can get 5% off your purchase there. Hey, if you find this video valuable or fun, please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to be notified when I post a new video. It's completely free and I really appreciate it when you do it. Let's unbox it. By the way, if you didn't know, there's an ASMR tech unboxings channel and it's kind of a joke, but now it's kind of real because there's over 1,000 of you that subscribed over there. But here's a taste. There it is in all of its glory. Over here, we have your SIM ejection tool and a whole lot of room for very small instructions. So in North America, we do not have a screen protector on it. We don't have a case and we don't have earbuds. So keep that in mind. There's the phone. I'll take a closer look at that in just a moment. Inside the box, we do have a charger. And then this thing, what is this? I think in the previous Note you would actually get additional S Pen tips, so maybe that's what this would have been, but I just don't see anything in it. Then in here you have the USB-C charging cable, and here's the phone. Let's do a nice little peel. My usual thing is to rate it from a 1 to 5 in terms of how good the peel is. That was smooth. I don't think you could hear much though. So right here, we have the Mystic Bronze color. There's 3 different colors that are available. There's the Mystic Black and Mystic White. I do really wish that the white one was a matte finish as well, because that would have been an amazing color. Now, normally I wouldn't be so thrilled about a bronze color, especially when it kind of has a rose goldish kind of look to it. It's not typically something that I would go for, but this looks really dang good. But I'm still really bummed out that the other color options are a matte finish. I will probably put on a D-brand skin from the channel sponsor. They have a bunch of different options here. And I'll probably get a case for the Note 20 Ultra to help compensate for that camera bump a little bit. It doesn't rock around at all on the S20 Ultra, so that might be a way to kind of deal with this whole thing, especially if you are setting it down on a desk and you're writing on it. I personally use D-brand for a lot of different things, so if you want to check it out as well, there's a link down below in the description. It's fun accessorizing your phone. I'm also going to try out the Samsung Galaxy Buds Live and the Watch 3. So there's a bunch of different accessories that you can have with your Note 20 Ultra along with a skin and a case. I'm really interested to find out how the whole ecosystem thing works out. So this is the only one that has a matte finish with it and it feels great. It looks good. So in terms of build and feel compared to the Note 10 Plus, it is a little bit heavier, just barely by a few grams, just a little bit taller. It's thicker, especially with the camera bump. And in terms of the curve along the edge of the screen, it's quite similar. Ooh, the buttons are on the opposite side of the phone than the Note 10. Let's turn that on. Ooh. The vibration motor does feel pretty good so far. It's kind of catching up with the Google Pixel, because the Google Pixel probably has the best vibration motor for Android phones, and the iPhone still is the best overall for smartphones. So while this is installing an update, I want to share something with you. I'm teaming up with Samsung. Yes, I teamed up with them and it blows my mind. Now keep in mind, I still bought this phone on my own, but this is still super cool. If you have a Samsung phone, you're able to watch my videos using Bixby. All you have to do is say, "Hi Bixby, play This Is Tech Today," and my custom capsule should show up. You can even search for me under This Is Tech Today or click the link down below in the description. You'll see me featured in the Bixby marketplace, which is a crazy thing for me to see, and I'm pretty excited about it, and I hope you are as well. So go check it out, even if it's just to look at it all teary-eyed and say, wow, that Brandon fella, he's all grown up. So proud of him. Thank you all for your support, which helped me reach this point, and thanks to Samsung for giving me the opportunity. Oh, there it is. That's a nice looking wallpaper, holy moly. So the first thing that I'm noticing is that the front-facing camera, the hole looks significantly smaller than on the Note 10 Plus. Check that out, I don't know if you can see the difference. It's quite notable. quite notable. That was an accident. So if we were to compare both the Note 10 Plus and the Note 20 Ultra, it's a difference between Gorilla Glass 6 and then Gorilla Glass Victus for the Note 20 Plus, and that's supposedly better in terms of durability, so like drops and scratches and things like that. What I'm most interested in is actually the S Pen. So the S Pen on the Note 20 Ultra is supposed to be more responsive than on the Note 10 Plus. There's two reasons for that. There is a high refresh rate screen on this, so it can go up to 120 Hertz. And then the latency with the stylus changes from 42 milliseconds to 9 milliseconds. Those two things are huge. So let's see what it feels like. There's a little scratchy scratch, a squitchy scratch. That does feel really responsive. Okay, let's try it out on this one right here. So when I compare the two on just writing on the screen right now, I can notice a little bit of a difference. It's actually already great on the Note 10 Plus, but it's just that little bit of a push, that little extra that makes it feel like there really isn't any lag there. You don't feel like it's trying to catch up to you at all. It feels like you're actually writing. It's kind of crazy. I wouldn't say that you should upgrade from a Note 10 Plus to a Note 20 Ultra purely for that though. In terms of the fingerprint reader, seems pretty fast. One thing I want to find out is how well this performs if I have a screen protector on it. The sound quality on the Note 10 Plus was already really great, but I want to find out if there's an upgrade with the Note 20 Ultra, so let's find out. The Note 10 Plus is definitely more mid-rangey and muffly, while the Note 20 Plus, it just feels like they took a blanket off of it. It opens it up way more. You can have a little bit more of that air to the high end. So the differences that I'm noticing is that the Note 20 Ultra is a little bit quieter, but it feels fuller. And the reason for that is because it has a more immersive sound. It's a little bit clearer, it doesn't have as muffly of a sound, which is a really great thing. So as a whole, I'd rather have that over the Note 10 Plus. If you really care about your speakers on your smartphone, then the Note 20 Ultra is definitely a really great choice. Now as for the selfie camera, it's pretty much the same 10 megapixel f2.2 aperture 26mm wide angle camera on both of these devices, but let's check it out. Okay, let's turn it around and lift it up here. Ooh, there's some smoothing going on. Ooh, let's turn that off. All right, let's try that again. There's a lot of detail there. It's a really complicated lighting situation because of a lot of different colors all around me. So what is really nice is that you have a little bit more room that you can zoom out on the selfie camera. And then this is the selfie camera video and audio. How does it sound? What does it look like? What do you think? For the rear cameras over here, we have a 108 megapixel f1.8 26mm camera lens compared to the 12 megapixel f1.5 to 2.4 aperture 27mm lens. One thing to keep in mind is that the Note 20 Ultra has a laser autofocus. And 108 megapixels may seem kind of excessive on the surface, and normally it would be, but the way Samsung is setting this up is really neat because it not only allows for more detail with digital zoom, but it also allows them to combine pixels together in groups of 9 to get a 12 megapixel equivalent to theoretically provide higher picture quality, which is pretty neat. So let's see how that looks. So one thing that I'm noting is that aperture, the f1.8 number that I was mentioning, allows for this really shallow depth of field. It allows for a nice blurriness beyond the subject, which is really nice. And you'll notice that the head of the dinosaur will be in focus, but the tail will be out of focus. Now for the ultra wide camera, it's a 12 megapixel f2.2 aperture, 120 degree 13mm lens. Now the Note 10 Plus has a 16 megapixel f2.2 aperture, 12mm lens. Normally you would think, oh, well, that's a drop in 4 megapixels, that's not too great. This is a little bit different because the Note 20 Plus has a larger sensor, and that lower megapixel count may not matter as much because a larger sensor could be a much better thing in terms of low light and quality. Here's the view. How does it look? All right, let's zoom in and see what the details look like. It looks pretty good, you know, for an ultra wide. And then here is the ultra wide camera for video. And then you have the rear telephoto camera. It's a 12 megapixel f3.0 aperture, 120mm periscope telephoto. So there's a little bit of a mechanical zoom actually working in here. And that's really neat because you want to have something that's more mechanical, like an actual lens that moves, over something that's digital. But of course you can combine the two. With the Note 10 Plus, you have a 12 megapixel f2.1 aperture 52mm telephoto lens. It's significantly, like way better on the Note 20 Ultra. Holy cow, that looks so clean at 5x. It clicks in right at 5x. So if you take a picture at like 4.9, it's gonna look kind of potato-y. Let's go to 10x and see what that looks like. And then it goes all the way up to 50x. Don't take it at 50x, it's not so great. So this is the 5x telephoto. Let's see if we can pop out of the 5x and see how it loses that quality. Oh, see how it goes straight to potato? And then let's go over to 5x, clicks in. You see how it clears up like that? That's amazing. You can zoom in more, and yeah, it starts to fall apart a bit. And it has really good image stabilization. Here is the video on the Note 10 Plus with the native wide main camera. And here is the Note 10 Plus with the ultra wide lens. And here is the Note 10 Plus, the telephoto on video. So another really big upgrade is the fact that this has wireless DeX. That may not mean a lot to everyone, but for those of you who enjoy a more desktop environment, you have that ability. Along with that, you can use the S Pen as a mouse. Now, as for the guts between the two, you have a Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 Plus and then a Snapdragon 855. This one has 5G, which also has millimeter wave, which is helpful if you're right next to a compatible 5G tower and you want some of those insanely fast speeds that you've been seeing in all these videos. But the thing that really matters the most is sub-6 5G, so that's the long range option. But it's good to have the ability to do both. Whether or not you find that 5G is necessary right now or in the year to come, that's up to you to determine how much that matters to you, and it varies depending on where you live. Now, some good news, you do still have a micro SD card slot to expand your storage, and it goes along with the SIM tray. Now, one thing that is a little bit rough in terms of the comparison comes down to the storage. The Note 10 Plus has a base storage of 256 gigabytes with 12 gigabytes of RAM, while the Note 20 Ultra comes with a base storage of 128 gigabytes of storage with 12 gigabytes of RAM. So half the storage at the base level. That probably has a lot to do with cost savings in order to give you 5G. So it's a bit of a trade-off, and the fact that you're still able to expand your storage with a micro SD card may not make it as big of a deal, but for some of you, that might be a bit of a frustration. For battery life, you have a 4500 milliamp battery in the Note 20 Ultra, and then you have a 43 milliamp battery in the Note 10 Plus. So you do have a little bit of a bump up, and that can help compensate for the high refresh screen. Interestingly enough, you do have a 25 watt fast charging on the Note 20 Ultra, but a 45 watt fast charging option on the Note 10 Plus. Now here's something really neat. If you look really close at the camera bump, there's a little hole right there, and that's where the microphone is. So overall, my impressions of the Note 20 Ultra is that there are some significant jumps ahead in terms of the camera. I do really love a high refresh screen. It's something that it has to happen in phones now in 2020 and beyond. It's just really hard to go back from that. And it's one of the things that really tangibly gives you that feeling of it being really fast and snappy. Now, whether or not you should upgrade or not from the Note 10 Plus, that's a little bit harder for me to determine. It comes down to what your preferences are and then how much you weigh the differences between the two. But one thing to really consider is the price. The base price of the Note 20 Ultra is $1,300, which is quite a bit. For the Note 10 Plus, you can get it for about $1,000 normally, and sometimes you can find it on sale for even less. But I'm really curious, what are your thoughts? What do you think about the differences between the two? Do you think it's worth upgrading from a Note 10 Plus to a Note 20 Ultra? Do you think it's worth getting the Note 20 Ultra altogether? Let me know in the comments and in the This Is Tech Today community Discord chat server. And don't forget to check me out on the Bixby marketplace, and don't forget to save some money by clicking the link to the Samsung store so you can get 5% off most items. Thank you so much for watching This Is Tech Today, where we talk about the intersection of technology in our everyday lives, in business, and in all things creative. Until next time.